Hey everybody, how's it going? Wanted to do a quick review on this new air mattress that I picked up. My 5-year-old daughter and I just moved into a new duplex, and we left her previous bed at the last residence mainly because she had outgrown it. It was more for a baby. I wanted to get her something that was a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more usable within her room here. So I also wanted something that wasn't going to break my budget because I did have a lot of expenses moving into this new place. So I was able to find this Intex full-size 16.5-inch rise, so a little bit higher rise, Dura-Beam Deluxe pillow rest Airbed mattress with a built-in pump, which is really nice. It's a cool feature because you don't have to worry about a separate accessory. It ran between $35 and $45 online depending on where you bought it from. I'll put a link down in the description of the video for the cheapest route I found, so go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested. But the air mattress technology has really come a long way since I was a kid. It used to be very uncomfortable because you're essentially riding on one big mattress or air pocket. Now they've broken it down into multiple compartments where it's providing you a number of support structures throughout the mattress, as well as providing it additional durability for longevity. So you're not worried about one cushion blowing out on you. You have numerous structures within that cushion that provide the support, and then again additional longevity for that reason. So this is designed with FiberTech inner construction, which is kind of Intex's proprietary way of doing it. They've been doing it really well for a long time. They've got some good reviews on this product. Again, you can check that out on the product link that I have below. But they really did a nice job with this particular mattress. And a lot of the mattresses that they make, they cover it in a soft, locked sleeping surface to enhance the comfort. And that was one thing that really stood out to me when I pulled my previous queen-size mattress out of the box. Was it had a really nice feel to it. It wasn't some plastic thing that felt almost like a floaty raft for a pool or something to that effect. So it really had a good feeling. It has an edge ring construction which provides a flatter surface, and that was really nice too, again providing that support throughout my entire body and not just in one area where you kind of had most of your weight. So that really helped out again with that rotator cuff injury, and the comfort level of these guys is unbelievable. Again, I prefer this air mattress over my really expensive pillow top traditional mattress that we have on our queen size bed. So it has a built-in pillow for convenience, which is really nice, especially for my daughter. She's be able to prop a pillow up and read in her bed then at that point. The built-in pump makes inflation and deflation quick and easy, which is really cool. It's got a weight capacity of 600 pounds, so this thing will certainly hold out to any type of weight that most people will put on it if you have a child in yourself or a couple adults, things of that nature. The dimensions are 54 inches by 75 inches by 16.5 inches. So again, 54 by 75 by 16.5, and that's the height level. When you first kind of pump these guys up, they do specifically tell you not to overinflate it, because what you can do is overstretch the material and then intermittently cause leaks throughout the next 6 months to a year time with it. What you actually want to do is kind of inflate it to about 80%, let the plastic stretch itself out to its natural state, and then you kind of slowly increase the pressure to about 85-90% throughout the next 2 or 3 days, getting into that maximum level about 90%. And that's kind of where you want to keep it. You can deflate it a little bit if you need a little bit softer, but you really don't want to go over 90% inflation because you will blow these mattresses out or you will have leaks occur. They don't really have much for warranties on these guys, and it's kind of expected, being that it is an air mattress, and there's probably a ton of people out there that either negligently or not negligently, I guess, because it is an air mattress, they blow out. For Intex to try to replace all that or warranty those types of things, it's pretty much impossible for those guys. So I don't blame them. It's unfortunate though, because you do invest that money into a product that you're hoping will last you longer than 60 days, and you don't want to start from scratch in a different product. But it is what it is. You can give it a try, and for $36 shipped to your door, that's not a horrible loss out of your pocket, and it might work out really well for you. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is just break it out of the box here, and then we're going to go ahead and blow it up for you guys so you can check out what it looks like. Okay, so inside the box, you can see we have it packaged here in just an outer exterior bag. Protect itself. I'll roll it out here. You can see we have it's like a bag for being able to carry it around if you want to deflate that and carry it as a travel air mattress. We have a owner's manual, probably some safety instructions and the guarantees and warranties, and relax, it's not leaking. And they give you some information about the stretching that occurs over the first 2 to 3 days, which definitely does occur. I've experienced that in numerous Intex inflatable products. So that's not unknown to me, and it's not unusual for these types of things. As well as that, it's pretty common for these types of air mattresses from Intex They do provide the kit here, which you can patch with any holes or seams or punctures that you might have. I think there's 1 or 2 patches in there, and it works pretty well. If you run out of something like this, you can always use super glue, as well as some sort of other type of polymer patch or plastic patch that usually works really well. I've even used just super glue itself to kind of adhesive a little puncture wound, and it's worked well. It's held up, so it is kind of a last resort that you can do if you're trying to, you know, at least get that product by for a couple more days, or maybe even a month or 2 months. So then you have the air mattress itself, and again, you can see this thing's pretty heavy duty. You know, that's again one of the other things that I guess pointed out to me when stood out to me was the heavy dutiness of it. It almost feels like it would be like a parachute type material for the underside, and then on the top side you kind of have, it's a very soft, almost microfiber, but a plasticky microfiber type of feel. So you could actually lay a brick on that. It wouldn't be that bad, and it would certainly be a lot more comfortable than what the underside parachute material would be like. But very heavy duty. The seams are good, like most Intex products, and it seems like it'll hold together. You can see here on the end here we have the built-in pump for getting it deflated and inflated, which is really nice. Again, having a separate accessory is kind of a pain. My queen size Intex mattress, I actually had to purchase the air pump. It was about $14, so it wasn't a huge deal. It was an add-on item. But to have to just try to remember exactly where I put it, drag it out, use it whenever I need to pump it up, you know, if it loses some air or stretches out. Having it integrated is certainly a huge benefit, especially at the $35 to $45 price tag. That's a pretty good feature for that price range. So what we'll do now, guys, is we'll kind of throw it out here, we'll pump it up and show you how that works. Okay, so just to kind of give you an instruction on how this works inside this compartment here, we'll pop this open. You'll notice there's a 12 volt AC adapter cord there. You just got to plug that into a wall. It is a polarized, so you got to make sure the right end is in the right socket there. One's bigger than the other one. Once you do that, what you're going to want to do is adjust this knob here. You'll notice that it says fast fill inflate on this side, and it'll say diffuse, or deflate on this side. What you can see on this knob here is that the arrow is now currently pointing towards the inflate, which is what we want in this particular instance. What you can do is opposite of inflating it, plug this into the wall, switch this over to deflate, and that will go ahead and run it dry, where you're able to store it or, you know, transport it around as needed. Otherwise, again, we're going to go ahead and put it to inflate. Once it is inflated, if you want to reduce the firmness of it, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and just drop it down a little bit there, and it'll return a little bit of air to the environment and release a little bit of air from the air mattress here. And then once it reaches that certain firmness, you'll switch it back to the inflate, which will lock the remaining air inside the unit. From that point, if you do have an issue where you don't have an electrical socket available, you are able to use a foot pump or a hand pump by connecting it to this unit here, and you are able to pump it that way. But once we have it plugged into the wall, we have it to the inflate position. We're going to go ahead and switch it on. You're going to want to, you know, account for your ambient temperatures and the vinyl stretch, and making sure that you're not going to overinflate in a hot environment where it's going to heat up and then expand, therefore, you know, causing some serious weaknesses throughout the air mattress. So that's something you're going to want to consider, you know, over the first 2 or 3 days. I'd say, you know, again, pump it to 80% and kind of fill your way up from there. You never really want to do it over at the top until the stretching period of the vinyl in the air mattress is done. So we'll go ahead and plug it in. We'll give you a kind of a time release or a time lapse of this thing being pumped, and the exact amount of time at the end, just to make it a little quicker for you. Okay, so we have it fully inflated to the point of where I feel comfortable at this point. What I do is I kind of just watch to make sure that all the kind of the major wrinkles start panning out on the you know, major structure here. So, you know, you can see along here some of these wrinkles that would have been kind of the major wrinkles as it was being stored are kind of structured out. But once you kind of see those just pop out a little bit, what you're going to do is just stop at that point. You can see I still got quite a bit of cushion left here. I would say it's probably about 80%, maybe 85% capacity. And what I'll do is I'll let that sit for 2 to 3 days. Over that course of time, what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of air to make it, back to the 85, maybe up to 90% capacity. But towards the end of those 3 or 4 days, it'll definitely rest at 90% capacity, and it should hold at that, bar any type of major temperature variances. If you shut your heat down to 60 degrees and then it jumps back up maybe 70 or 75 degrees, you may have a little bit of variance in the pressure that's inside of this air mattress, but overall it should hold fairly well. Again, having that built-in pump in there really makes it nice, because if you do have any type of air leakage or it's getting not as firm as you like it to be, you can go ahead and just plug it in to the wall, or maybe you keep it close to a wall socket and fill it right back up again. But it is a nice size bed, as you can see here. It takes up a good portion of the room, being that it is a full size, and I think this is a 10 by 8 room, but it'll fit well once we kind of push into the corner away from most of the vents. I think that's what we'll end up doing. And then you can see it's got that built-in pillow, which is really nice. Again, you can kind of prop your head on that with some additional pillows if you got it against the wall, but it gives you kind of additional support in that head area. And then you'll notice that it's got kind of an outer liner, which kind of keeps you centered into the middle of it, where you're not kind of hanging onto the edge of it and really putting a lot of stress onto the edge of the mattress and those seams. And then you have the top there, which has numerous types of support structure bars that run down at those seams in those multiple compartments. And then again, it rests a little bit higher off the ground, being the 16.5 inches, so it doesn't feel so much like an air mattress. It feels a lot more like a bed, a traditional one. So again, the air mattress technologies have really come a long way. It's pretty amazing that you can get something like this shipped to your door for $40 or less. And in fact, it's very comfortable, and it's a great alternative to purchasing a traditional mattress, which can set you back $200, $300, $400, $500 sometimes if you need to buy a box spring, especially, as well as additional accessories like the coasters underneath it. So if you have any questions, guys, feel free to let me know. I'll certainly do my best at answering them. But again, the description of the video will contain the link that will get you over to where I found the cheapest of this product out there online. So feel free to check that out. Thanks a lot. Till next time, take her easy.